Remembrance was a man of many titles. Sorry, I'm gonna cry. Some of his titles included Dad, Papa, Special Ed, Mayor of D-Loop. But to me, as well as most of you, he was known as Uncle Eddie. I'm sure he developed that name because he was like an uncle or a close relative to so many of us. It didn't matter that he wasn't a blood relative, he was Uncle Eddie through and through. My earliest memories of Uncle Ed include a few years staying at Aunt Betsy and Uncle Ed's house while my brother Ryan was sick. They practically raised my sister Julia and I while working on restructuring their house. Some of my teenage memories are of course filled with times at Assateague Island's D-Loop with the mayor himself, Uncle Ed. He would sing, I got a pocket full of sunshine, and to the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Aunt Bets would put suntan lotion on Uncle Ed's belly so he wouldn't burn, but when Uncle Eddie put his hands behind his head to take a nap, you would be able to see the white lines under his man boobs. And of course, all the adults and kids would look forward to the fires at night, where when Uncle Eddie felt like it was the perfect time, he would give us his diesel fitter joke. My last memories of Uncle Ed are some of the greatest. As one of his two North girls, I was able to see Uncle Eddie as a patient who went through the roller coaster of life with cancer in his body. During this time was when I was the most proud to call him my Uncle Eddie. On his very first admission, Uncle Ed had begun to witness to some of the staff. It was so easy for him as his love for Christ pours out of him, and everyone could notice. Some of the girls would come up to me and said, your Uncle Eddie has such a strong faith. And I would respond with, you have no idea. By Uncle Ed's second admission, the entire unit was calling him Uncle Eddie, which I felt to be extremely appropriate. We would laugh as Uncle Eddie would make jokes about his girlfriend Sally, his IV pole, and how it would act up at night when Aunt Betsy left. We were guaranteed to see Uncle Eddie's Jesus Calling book sitting on his bedside table, and so often when we walked into the room, he would have us sit down and read one of his daily entries. One of the two North nurses, Jessica, wrote, the most amazing thing I remember is the day he gave me his Jesus Calling book, the book he clung to and that got him through so much. We went back and forth for a while because I really couldn't accept such a gift. Even in his hardest time, he wanted me to have it because he knew how much it would have helped me if I tried it out. When I sat down to discharge him and thanked him for it, he showed me the day's message, which was creepily spot on, and said to me, you know this is all happening for a reason. We might not know what it is yet, but I believe we were meant to meet. Maybe I'm going through this so I can be here with you. That literally blew my mind. How could someone with such an aggressive cancer be so sure of an alternate plan? And we talked for such a long time that night. And I took the book home and I have read it every day since. Uncle Eddie continued to plant the seed of Christ in many of my co-workers' lives. As the cancer got worse and the symptoms were stronger, Uncle Eddie remained faithful to living out his love for Christ. I was in awe of Uncle Eddie's faith at this time. He was such an inspiration to many. Uncle Eddie was so strong and so confident that no matter what, God was in control and that he would remain a faithful servant up until his final days. Last Saturday, Jessica wrote, I went in and despite how much pain he was in, he smiled and laughed with me. I sat down and where I would usually talk to patients about their fears and comfort them, he took my hand and he comforted me. He thanked me for everything, told me he was going to heaven, to not worry that he would be okay, and that he was going to prepare a place for me, and that he would see me again one day. I know I've said it before, but I still don't know who was meant to care for who. I still can't believe he's gone. Tony Ann, one of his other favorite nurses, wrote, Ed and his family and friends have taught me incredible lessons. They have affected me as an individual and as an oncology nurse. Through the unknown territory of a cancer diagnosis, Ed offered guidance, praise, strength, and a bright blue-eyed smile. for allowing me to be part of your journey. During the last few weeks, Uncle Eddie made me promise him that I would continue sharing God's love to the nurses of True North. I faithfully accept it and would like to ask each one of you to help me to live out Christ's love, just like Uncle Eddie did. This is exactly what he would want from us.